let's begin. First off, out of courtesy, please silence your cell phone. Turn them off or silence them. This just helps keep the order that we intend for today. I'd like to thank the fire department for coming out. They made this beautiful day ready for us. They took out the trucks, put out tables and chairs. They continue in every way to give us a standard of volunteerism here on the island that I believe is very important for the members here. So let's give the fire department a big hand. My name is Donna Williams, and I happen to be the chaplain for the police department here, and anyone in Jamaica Beach that needs any sort of spiritual help or awareness. I am also president of the Galveston West Beach Lions Club, and so because I'm not a resident of this, but I live on 11 Mile Road, I'm going to be as impartial as anyone can be in this situation. So the first thing I'd like to do is introduce the candidates in order that they're going to be on the ballot. We have Mary Morse, Sharon Bauer, Marcy Hoffman, Mark Sloan, Diana Sharon, and Gil Medray. Okay, the order of our time is going to be from 10:05, which is just a couple of minutes away, until 10:35. Each candidate will give their opening remarks. They'll have 5 minutes each. So with 6 candidates, that's 30 minutes. At 10:35, we'll have the candidate questions here. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to deliver a response to the questions in the buckets that you all have provided. Then at 11:30 to 12 o'clock, there'll be any closing remarks, and then they'll be open for you to come actually meet and shake hands with each of the candidates. The rules for the meeting today: every candidate is here. There are no substitutes, so who you see is who you get. We are going to preserve a nonpartisan atmosphere during this meeting, so there's no banners or anything like that that are used. There's no literature that's placed. This is strictly nonpartisan at this point. Candidates have arrived timely, and they are all ready for you. The candidates, again, will speak their time. The audience will remain quiet and respectful during their speaking time. Don't speak over them or ask questions. That'll be later. So if there's no other information, Mayor Sharon, can we proceed now?
Yes, please, thank you.
Okay. And we'll begin. Our first candidate will speak and then pass the microphone after her time.
We're just stand at the podium too.
Oh, okay.
I can stand.
Okay, let us do that then. Here we go.
Donna, for questions, we'll just pass them.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mary Morse, I'm running for mayor. And I'd like to thank you all for being here. You will have to excuse me, I'm going to have to read this. I've got back issues on medicine form, so we're dealing with that. But I would like to thank you all for being here, and thank Mayor Bowers and the council for taking time to serve our community. It can be very trying, but also very rewarding. I'm very familiar with all of that. I've served 10 consecutive years as alderman in Jamaica Beach from 2006 to 2016, and I've lived here since 1999. My husband Gordon, a retired Galveston police officer, and we've raised our children here as we fell in love with the village and the small town atmosphere where everyone looked after, supported, and took care of each other. We actually talked to each other. And while we may not have always agreed on topics, we worked things out in civil manners. Sadly, the fabric of the community seems to have been torn through the myriad of local Facebook pages that some are included and some are not, but each one has divided us into different camps. And while I realize that probably won't go away, we hope at least some semblance of civil and friendly community back to Jamaica Beach. I used to work for Continental Airlines in accounts payable, accounts receivable, and AOAC, which is airport office accounting. And then upon moving to Jamaica Beach, I worked for a life insurance company as office manager until I retired in 2012. One of the reasons I'm running is over the last 2 administrations, we've lost some good employees from our city due to the intense atmosphere in City Hall, created by some that left, told me was micromanaged by mayors and new aldermen. It's my opinion that the council let the city administrator and the chief and the staff do their jobs without daily intense scrutiny. And I'm a believer in strong city administrator positions. As a mayor, I will closely follow actions taken in the city, but will allow leeway to perform different tasks without interference. And if a problem arises, I will bring it to council. We all live here, and we see and know if they're doing their jobs, and if not, council will take action. Sadly, I'm running for mayor as one of has been ordinance passed that are oppressive to our citizens, such as a $230 fine for using a white trash bag. That's excessive to me. I have searched the web and not found any evidence of any trash bags in any other color more attractive to birds or animals than the other than a bag containing food products in it. It's my belief that household garbage should be placed in a trash can and should never be left on the ground outside the trash can, and should deserve a citation. However, simply seeing a white trash can and a garbage can, it does not warrant a fine. Common sense should prevail in this matter, and this ordinance should be repealed. Next would be the requirements for the engineering on certain jobs. I do not feel it's need for engineering structural repair to a home or stairs as long as the permit is obtained and as long as the material used is equal to that and better material as that meets the building codes. The city administrator knows the codes and can confirm compliance or deny approval. Making our citizens getting engineering on repairs is excessive and costly to them. That being said, if the agreement between the city and an engineering firm, Arnold Franklin, comes to fruition and they provide a template drawings, I feel a minimum fee to cover the cost for the drawing is all the homeowners should have to pay, as the city will have already covered the majority of the costs. I'm not against the city covering the initial costs for the engineering templates, as is another way we all work together to get our community back to a wonderful place to live. The beach is an issue that has been a topic of discussion ever since we moved here. There have been many, many proposals on how to control the number of people, the cars on the beach, especially during the summer months. It's hectic and frustrating, and I get it. I live here, I brought my children here, we're always on the beach. The main issue we face with the GLO and our beach is that whatever we...
Time. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to see if technology actually works. Maybe. Okay. Steps here as it wakes up. Yeah, we'll leave you to provide the technology. to wake up. Acid wakes up. All right, what I wanted to do first is, I know we presented this at council, but I thought we would have just a little moment of fun while we think about our vision and what a great place Jamaica Beach is to live. So, if you look at our vision, it says, together we envision our community as a safe coastal paradise where with sandy feet we live, work, play, and find peace. That's what council is focused on, and I hope that's what the city will be focused on as well. We are the best place to live on the Texas Gulf Coast. I apologize, I'm going to read most of my speech. My kids always told me, Mom, we just want the answer. We don't want a lecture or a science test. So if I try to just speak extemporaneously, that's what you get. So, for those of you who are new to our city, I am Sharon Bauer and your current mayor. I have a degree in chemical engineering from Texas A&M University. I worked in multiple management positions for a major oil and gas company. My background in operations, projects, compliance, and budget management has provided me the experience to lead our city into the current decade. I know many of you wish we could be the Jamaica 20 years ago. We'd like to be the world we were 20 years ago. But society and cultures change, and we must adapt. These were my primary campaign priorities.
Not close enough.
Yep. So, the first one was to improve communications. And we've done a lot. We had a big focus early on to get Blackboard up and running, and we used that for critical and timely updates. We updated the website with lots of information. We shut down the old one. We migrated and archived it. The recent one is also archive compliant, which is required by law. In the next few months, we will be uploading Unicode, which provides codified ordinances for ease of searching. Website updates are now timely, and we are continually seeking citizen input on ways to improve it. Citizens speak openly at council meetings, which broaden council's understanding and knowledge of the topics being considered. Instigating advisory boards proved to be challenging due to the Texas Open Meetings Act, but we realigned the liaison roles for council members to facilitate focus and citizen prioritized input. We still need to find more ways to share information about our city and our activities, being more disciplined with posting flyers at the park and mailboxes. Mail-outs and mass flyer distributions are simply too costly. My first challenge as mayor was to figure out the budget, so I could ensure that the city could fund necessary maintenance and improvements. Also, we needed to make sure we could afford a city manager, a city administrator. My philosophy from my campaign and ongoing has been a mayor, an elected volunteer mayor, should not need the skills necessary to run the city. We need the continuity of staff and a qualified city administrator. So that was my first priority, figure out the budget, hire a city administrator, which Kendall came on board in January 24. We now have a budget process that includes department head accountabilities, more efficient tracking and reporting. We created and improved multiple policies, financial, procurement, personnel, ethics, to name a few. We are developing standard contract templates and have a requisition process in place. The back audits are challenging due to poor old record keeping. We are making progress, but it's slow. Backlogs of court citations have been taken care of. We had boxes and boxes and boxes of those. The council developed a strategic plan
that we will be reviewing quarterly for progress and updated annually to address both short and long-term needs. We all know our infrastructure is years past its useful life. We installed 2 more phases of water line replacement. We will continue.
Time.
I forgot my paper. Hello, everyone. I'm Marcy, and just when you think you know what you're talking about, again, you can need a sheet to talk about yourself. So, utmost respect for everyone running, respect for Mary and your years on council. She was on council at the first meeting that I came to, and Sharon for the work that you've done. I have been in Jamaica Beach for 19 years. I moved here from the Midwest. I was straight out of college and ready to work. So I am the animal well-being manager at Moody Gardens. And for years I was a zookeeper there, so taking care of animals is my MO. I have a Master's of Science from A&M here in Galveston in Marine Resource Management. So I finished up school there in 2009. I did serve on City Council for 6 years, if you weren't aware of that. You're just getting into the council biz. I had a really good time. I learned a lot. Politics is so far out of my range. I learned every single time I was there. I tried to just take it all in. I saw great improvements. I'm not gonna lie, I ran to my first council meeting saying, we need to do something about the beach, it's just getting out of control. And the council looked at me like I had 3 heads, like, yeah, lady, we've been talking about this. So I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna be the person in the crowd that doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna be the person in the front that has done all the research and knows what I'm talking about. So I did take a little hiatus. If you haven't been on council, it's not easy. Our citizens are not kind to your council members in general. I know a lot of you that are here probably are the good ones, but just like bad ones in the bunch, being grouped into something, being said that you said something, all of that is not cool. So I took a break, but I'm back. I'm not super sure. I don't have a very I'm coming back for this reason. I just want to get involved. I want to make change. I work with balance in my life. In every single thing that I do, I try to listen to both sides. I always want to listen to the citizens. I don't have a personal agenda for anything specific. I have my little flyer that we'll have at the end. You can take pictures of it if I run out. I have some things listed. I also won't have signs out. I don't like trash, and I don't like to spend money for trash. So there might be some handmade ones, but in case you just need to spread the word, I will have some information on myself. But I obviously support the city infrastructure improvements. A lot of that started when I was first on council. We started with the road repairs, the water lines. I'm a little, city government is how it is. I thought some of that stuff would be further, but some of the funding changed, and it's not anybody's fault. It just is what it is. So coming to see some of that stuff through completion is awesome. Balance with the STRs, I think that's kind of figuring itself out with the market. We went a little extreme with everybody being all crazy about it. And then I think it would just need balance. There doesn't need to be the chaos and the divisiveness over STRs. I will work well for the citizens. I will do community vision planning. I think we did a little bit of that at one of the city town halls, but I'd like to see more of that. And it's kind of just where, we had our 6 buckets up here, but there were 6 different ideas. Like, what do you want to do in the park? Pickleball, tennis, blah, blah, blah. And then you get your little stickers and you put it all in there. There's a very organized way Galveston has vision planning. They've been doing it for years and involving the citizens more. So that's on my checklist. I don't desire the beach user fee. I thought I did. When I first came to council, I don't prefer that. I think there's other ways to create balance on the beach. I think it's just adding extra work. I don't think it's going to get the outcome that we thought it was. I work pragmatically, and you won't see me hot-headed, hopefully, or uninterested in something. There's every topic I feel like I can learn. And I'm conservation focused, that's implied with my job. I support the needs of local wildlife, so if there's ever an issue that does involve wildlife, I will more than likely vote for wildlife unless you can convince me otherwise. And reducing the use of harmful chemicals for people and animals. And then on my time in council before, my focus was on the park and the beaches. I volunteered and organized many park events, so some of you that worked with me at that time, I appreciate y'all volunteering. I had an awesome core group of volunteers and we just knocked it out of the park, so I think we did a really good job. So thank you guys for the opportunity to represent you again, and yeah, welcome back.
Hello everybody, my name is Mark Sloan and I'm running for City Council in Jamaica Beach. I've been a resident and full-time resident of Jamaica Beach for 27 years, going on 28 years. My wife and I, Trish, have been here almost that long. I'm a graduate of the University of Texas, and that's been quite a while ago. My work is, I was manager for Randall's for 25 years. Really enjoyed that. Had to leave for some medical reasons. Also worked a lot as food broker and all over Houston, and food equipment sales for Hobart Food Equipment. Now I'm a full-time fishing guy. Life is good. I really want to thank all of y'all for coming here today, because I wish you'd see this kind of participation in city council meetings. You know, this is room full, but it's just good to see this many people coming out. I've been sitting on the sidelines the whole time I've been here, and you know, I'm one of those two that will sit back in my little Monday morning quarterback and complain about the state of affairs. Do something. So that's why I'm running for city council. I want to suit up and show up and see if we can get some positive changes back to Jamaica Beach. I think there's a lot of good things going on at Jamaica Beach. You know, of course, we all know our big problem: short-term rentals, cash, beach. All these things are pretty well known. I really appreciate what the administration today has already started doing, and I think the city council is. The meetings that I've been going to, they go better than any ones I've been. There's not fighting going on. There's just everybody seems to be kind of on the same page. As far as Sharon goes, I really think Sharon is going in the right direction with very little help. Sharon walked into here with a blank slate. You know, the former administration just walked away from Jamaica Beach, which I think is really sad. There's no transition. Just here you go. Take it, figure it out. And I think she's done a pretty good job of figuring it out, getting some things started. Short-term rentals, I'm sorry folks, but they're here to stay. I don't think they're going anywhere. We're not going to run them out. We created our own monster by not controlling these things a long time ago. There should have been controls, there should have been regulations. If we don't have regulations, there's nothing to enforce. People say, oh, enforcement, just enforce the things you already have. Folks, we don't have anything. There needs to be some ordinances passed or some regulations to give the police department some teeth to do something about the problem houses. And pretty much they're all the same houses most of the time. I live around several of them. And I got the police on speed dial. I think another problem is residents aren't calling and complaining. They're just complaining. They're not calling the police and go, hey, do something. I also think the police department needs to follow up and let me know what was done. Was a ticket written? Was a ticket issued? What was the ticket? And what are we going to do from here? You know, how many tickets do these people get before we do something? All these things are things that need to be addressed in council. The beach program. I mean, that's a real wasp nest. There's just so many things that need to be figured out. Right now, we're not picking up trash on the beach. What are we going to do? Are we going to start picking it up? There's just so many things that need to be. We can't just go, okay, we're going to charge this much. How are we going to collect this money? It's not just a switch. And as So there's just things that need to be figured out, and participation, people, come, bring us your ideas. Everybody likes to criticize. Everybody likes to criticize what's going on. What's your idea? You know, give me a bone, throw me a bone, and we'll figure it out. I'm a people person. My talent is getting people to work together. You know, I managed a bunch of full-time, part-time, high school kids, and get everybody working. It's not that easy, but that's kind of what I do. Let's work on this together. Let's not work against each other, because that's what's going on. Everybody's working against each other. And it shouldn't be. It doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. I like what Mary said about all the Facebook pages. You know, it pits everybody against each other. And I don't like that. It's nothing but a problem. So, anyway, I'm eager to answer any questions anybody might have.
Time.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Dinah Sharon, and I live over on Trinidad Way. Something about me, I've been married to my husband Jeff for 42 years. We have 2 adult daughters, 1 son-in-law, and twin teenage granddaughters. We bought our house here in Jamaica Beach 18 years ago, back in February of 2007. We were weekenders for 9 years, and then we moved here full-time in 2016. My background, I graduated from the University of Houston, degrees in finance and accounting. I was in the car business for over 30 years, specifically the used car business. I retired in 2016 after owning a successful used car dealership out in the Woodlands. I learned a few things though while running a business that I think would make me a good alderman candidate or alderperson candidate. First off, I learned to spend money wisely. Make a budget, stick to it. Also have a contingency plan for emergencies, like a hurricane. When I don't know something, I'm very, like to research, analyze, learn. And I know it's important to set goals and benchmarks and be accountable, learn from missteps and make corrections. In business and life, treat everyone with respect and fairness. And I also believe that even if we have differing opinions, we all share a love for this community. So why I'm running, I've done my share of complaining. Now it's time to step up and actually try to help. So the issues where I stand, I've been pretty vocal. I assume the 3 big issues were infrastructure, the beach, and STRs. I've revised that. I'm now saying the big 3 for me now is enforcement, the negativity and division, and STRs. I spent the last few weeks talking with neighbors, listening to their concerns. Infrastructure repairs are happening. There's a plan, a budget, it's in capable hands. I feel good about that. The beach, council's actively working on this. We've got a beach parking plan and still contemplating the beach user fee, so I think that wherever that ends, we're gonna be okay. But the revised list, the enforcement, it's inconsistent. That's what I keep hearing from, friends and neighbors. I heard complaints about building permits, code enforcement, trash bags. Some owners have built entire additions onto their properties with no permits, no inspections, just, the Wild West, while others are intensely scrutinized for even minor repairs. So, granted, some of these particularly bad abuses happened during the COVID years, but the thing is the resentment still lingers, so I think we just need to be, consistent with the enforcement. Trash bags, okay. A lot of anger about the trash bag ordinance. I think it's important to keep it, but the thing is, it's common sense here. Just keep your food trash bag, any color bag, as long as it's in a can with a lid that stays put. We want these coyotes to eat the rats, not be dining out at the trash bag buffet. So, negativity, I've heard over and over how the city is divided. And the bullying and the snarky comments on Facebook, they need to stop. But the reality is that the number 3 thing on my list, STRs, they're the root of most of this animosity. Inconsistent enforcement applies here too. STRs, probably the most divisive issue in our community. We've got to balance the rights of STR owners with the rights of residents. And by residents, I mean full-time, part-time, weekenders, long-term renters. In other words, people who have a commitment to this community and their neighbors. We need strong ordinances with consistent enforcement. I realize most STRs are operated responsibly, but the bad ones are wreaking havoc on their neighbors. I live near some of them. Somehow we've got to find a way to manage STRs so that everyone's property rights and our property values are protected. In closing, I'd like to see more people make Jamaica Beach their home. We welcome families, retirees, snowbirds, weekenders, long-term residents, or renters. Our residents here, that's who volunteers for community events, is staff the volunteer fire department, would help our neighbors. Without our residents, we risk losing the charm that makes this unique little city so special. As our city's sign out front says, Jamaica Beach, Texas, great place to visit, and even better place to live. So thank you, and I hope I can earn your vote. I look forward to meeting everyone.
Good morning, Jamaica Beach. My printer broke down, so I had to make some adjustments. So I'll just wing this. For those who've not met me, I'm Gilman Dre, and I'm asking you to re-elect me to City Council. A lot of people think I'm not healthy, but I assure you I'm healthy. Okay? And I'm alive, Jesus. Okay. Peggy and I have been full-time residents here for 15 years. I have been on council for almost 4 years and have extensive experience in project management, budget law, budgets, and cost control. I want to talk to what the issues are first. Really, I want to talk to what we've accomplished in the last 4 years. On infrastructure, we've installed 17,000 linear feet of 4-inch potable water line. That's more than 3 miles throughout the city. And we have improved water pressure and volume considerably. Water line repairs have significantly decreased. All of our wastewater lift stations have been refurbished. And the work needed to put the water treatment plant, west side clarifier, in service is almost completed. When you elected me this time, the first thing I pushed for was to hire a city manager. We have went 2 years without a city manager. We needed to bring back stability and continuity to City Hall. The mayor hired an executive search consultant, and we hired Kendall Francis on a 3-year contract to manage the day-to-day affairs of the city. To follow up with Mayor Barrett's comments, Kendall has really introduced what we needed to get back continuity. He's a paid full-time manager, and that's what we needed. I want to talk about now, change this around a bit. I want to talk about now where I am. You elected me, so this is where I stand on the issues. I support the STR ordinance. We have over 300 STRs, and they must be regulated in such a way that preserves the fabric of our community and the rights of our full-time residents and all the other owners. The mayor and staff have done a commendable job getting these STRs registered and this ordinance drafted. It passes the test of reason, and as it stands now, I will vote for it. Police enforcement. There's a lot of misinformation out there. there's been a culture change in the last 2 years. Our police chief, Matt Sherman, developed a procedure and form documenting services calls. And this was put in place over a year ago. And all nuisance calls are documented, whether at the beach, resident, SDR. The city has this data. Some of our nuisance ordinances need to be revised so that it can be better enforced. Shuffle down a little bit, I apologize. The beach plan. That's why I ran the first time. A lot of you wanted this. Okay? Recently, the mayor ran another survey on the city website, and 243 of you supported the implementation of the beach use fee. That's my job, to get done what the majority wants. Or at least bring it up and have a narrative. The beach plan is meant to discourage the overcrowding and unwanted conditions that come with it. It allows the city to recover some of the costs for maintaining the beach for the use of the general public. The plan also provides additional police coverage and trash cleanup you've asked for. Galveston is moving to make all their beaches paid parking, and the population within our driveway beach continues to grow. If we do nothing, we'll be overwhelmed.
Time.
Oh, geez. Okay, thank you, guys.
At this time, we'll do the bucket roll, and we have approximately 50 minutes to do this, so I'll do one question for one candidate at the time and go down the row. They have 2 minutes to respond, so our timer will give them 2 minutes for each question. First question, with all the divisions in the community, what do you plan to do in order to return to return the community back to the way it was in the past?
There is a lot of division in the community, and it just breaks my heart. We need to start working together. We need to start talking with each other in a civil manner. We need to be getting the information and getting it out to y'all, and getting y'all's opinion and y'all's votes and bringing it back. We used to have, and what they are doing, I love what Tina and the city are doing on all the projects. That is a huge start, but we still have a lot more to do. How people comment on Facebook, that you get behind a screen and it's like you're invincible. It's not good, it's not helpful. You know, come talk to the person. Come talk to your city council, who you voted in. You know, they're the ones that you voted in and you've helped. They're there to help you. But we've got to stop the ugliness. It's not helping anybody. It's not getting anything done. It's causing more problems. It's causing a huge growth. There's a huge division in this city, and it's never ever been like that. And it started several years. This is why I have put my name in the hat.
Time.
Thank you.
How do you intend to help fix the falling property values?
Well, I think I could be a millionaire if I did that. I mean, when you read all the articles out there, all of Galveston is facing the same issue. Post-COVID, our prices spiked up due to investors coming to the island. And now that they've recognized it wasn't magic money, those investors are moving out. I think probably our full-time residents and part-timers, the migration of them moving on, deciding that life is wonderful here, but hurricane challenges and property taxes, second homeowners are being challenged as well. As far as just continuing to make Jamaica Beach a great place to live. I mean, we do have amenities here and police force, and that will continue to draw people to our community. But until the market balances itself, and it is island-wide. I don't know how many of you saw the recent articles out there in the paper, but it is a Galveston issue, not just a Jamaica Beach issue. There's nothing specifically I can do other than continue to just drive the city towards improvements. We do have the lowest tax rate out there, and I know high taxes have had a large impact on people not being able to afford their homes. But we do have one of the lowest tax bases, and also statewide, we're required to not raise tax by more than 3.5% per year. So, but those folks that aren't homesteaded, they still carry a larger burden with that percentage. So, we'll just pray that the market equalizes and pray that the investors stay away.
How can we engage the community in more events?
So I think, we had our consistent events when I first got here. It was always Easter, Halloween, Memorial Day, the fire department dance, Halloween and Christmas. I think there's some balance in that regard. Shocking that I use the word balance, but we always wanted to have more consistent events at the park to bring people together. So I just think utilizing our knowledge of our community and what people want to get together around. If you want, an educational local wildlife. Do you guys want to go birding? Let's do it. Just finding, what are people interested in, and, building common ground so that we can talk about harder issues and still be friends.
There's one on that end.
Oh, okay. There's one on the other end. Sorry. Sorry, technical issue.
Let me have the other one. It's all going behind Gil's neck.
Okay. Okay. Who are you and what makes you a qualified candidate for this city council position? Does everybody agree he already talked about that?
Yes.
Explain how you feel about property rights.
Well, that's a good one. Property rights, as property owners, we all have property rights. I do feel, however, that the property rights of the people that live here have been infringed upon. We don't get enough. It seems like the short-term rentals, I'm not against short-term rentals, let me make that clear. I'm really not. I wish it didn't get the way it was, but these people do have rights, but they also have a responsibility to protect my rights. And loud parties, that's my biggest complaint. Music, I think outdoor speakers should be outlawed because it travels over the water. I mean, and the water's an amplifier. I can't tell, I've got police on speed dial, and I use it. You can find that out. we've got to let people know when our property rights are being stopped, being infringed upon. Many people, referring to short-term rentals, they don't even call the cops. You know, they just complain on Facebook. Property rights are extremely important, and I can't explain how strongly I feel about that, but like I say, mind you, everybody has them. You're a property owner, you have rights, and they need to be protected. They need to be protected with ordinances and things that have teeth, something that give the police something that they can enforce. Right now, I don't believe that we have that. I believe we're getting close to it. I believe the present administration has been doing great things in that, going in that direction, but there's still a lot of little kinks in that armor that we need. I guess that's about it.
Aye.
No, turn it on.
Explain how, sorry, now it's time for you to explain how you feel about property rights.
As everyone has said, we've all got property rights. I think that the rights of the short-term rental property owners, they have the right to rent their home. I don't know that they necessarily have the right to run it as a motel, but you know, maybe we can transition some of these to more long-term rentals. The thing is, it feels like sometimes the rights of the residents here are kind of secondary to the rights of the investment properties in here. And granted, it's because they talk louder, they show up at council meetings, they complain, they put on Facebook, they, you know, create a lot of the division and the animosity. But, you know, the only thing I would say is that we need to get more people to live here and to move here and stay here, because that's what happened. We lost so many of our residents. You know, they sold out and prices were high, and all these houses were bought by investors. And my feeling on that is that if you have a home that you rent out periodically, and you know, for your family, friends, or you know, a handful of times every year during the year, you know, carry on. You know, we don't have a problem with that. But you know, I think that the rights of all of us, though, are being harmed by investors coming in and actually creating chains of mini motels. I mean, you know, buying up numerous properties, and these are not properties where families come to stay. Well, the families do come to stay, but I mean like the owners of them. These are full-time rentals. And I've got 3 of them around me that were built for that purpose. Huge homes, you know, with lots of capacity. And, you know, property rights, I think, when you buy into a place that's mostly residents and full-timers, you have the right to expect that to continue. That's why we had so many retirees and people who live here full-time, and even weekenders. So I'm not sure how we go about protecting it, but I'm open to any suggestions.
Have you done a cost analysis of what the cost of having paid parking on the beach would be?
Yeah, that's a good question. Again, there's so much misinformation on the beach plan. Yeah, a thorough cost analysis has been done, and it's listed in the plan. You can see it. There's a 5-year budget. There's an explanation of all the numbers. Again, we can do nothing, and we'll be overwhelmed. We'll have the same problems we've had. I think the beach plan will get us a better cloud, and also is a good first step to getting back a family beach. It's that simple. I want to talk also about what we're talking about, these property rights. I am full.
Gil,
Stay with your question.
we're limited to answer.
Stay with your question, please.
Oh, okay. That's about based, if there are any other questions you have on the beach plan, glad to answer you. Look forward to meeting you personally and also discuss any of the other issues that you have. We can be successful, we can be better, we can accept change. Thank you.
This is for you specifically, what are your thoughts on mayor versus city manager running the city?
Okay. We've hired our city administrator for that position. And as the mayor, I see we guide, we give them the tools to do their job. If we're constantly micromanaging them, it starts slowing the process down on what they're doing. I think they should be able to hire and fire their own employees. They're the ones that work together, and if the employees and the city administrator are not cohesive together, it makes a problem, and it just starts going down. We can, as the mayor, I'd say you can see it. If they're not doing their job, it's time to do something else. Change it. Give them their tools, guide them. If there's a problem that comes up that needs to be addressed, and there's a lot of stuff that the mayor will bring to him, and you need to work on. But if it's something that really needs to be addressed, you bring it to council. Let the council take care of it. You're one person out of 6. So I said, just hire what we've got, hire the best, and let's, just kind of guide them and let them do their jobs. Give them the tools to make our city better, to keep us in line, keep our reports where they need to be going, keep us out of trouble. So that's how I feel, and thank you.
Given all the divisiveness in Jamaica Beach currently, how do you intend to bring people back together and get the community back in the place it was in the past?
Several ideas on that. First of all, I have to applaud City Council for putting our vision together. I think having a cohesive vision that people can focus on and work towards automatically gives you a common platform for that. Also, a lot's been spoken about, what's the other one? I thought I heard a ticket off.
Sorry, give her
Oh, thank you. Also, consistent enforcement is important. And I know something we can do better as a city about is better communication. We do have the website, we do have Facebook, but people don't always learn the facts. So coming up with ways to more clearly explain in bulleted format the things the city is doing to help drive that common goal and that common understanding of an issue. I know also when you go out to look at Facebook comments, usually a lot of it is based on what your neighbor told you, not what prescriptive the actual ordinance or the actual change implies. So that's something we do need to do better about, and I think that will automatically drive more cohesiveness. I do think our city events, I know that Tina is starting to reach out and form more committees. You know, I realized that we were getting away from that community engagement sense with our activities. So we now have a committee for the 50th anniversary party, and she is starting to form more committees. And I'd also encourage everybody to reach out to Tina on ways that we can drive more alignment and get full community input. So it basically comes down to communication and improved communication. And we have set the platform for that. And I hope, you know, I'm given the opportunity to continue to enhance the communication improvements we've made and take us to the next step.
Do you own an STR in Jamaica Beach?
In case you missed the memo, I'm a zookeeper. One house, just one. No STRs, to be clear. My dogs rent my house for free.
Can you explain how communities like Lafitte's Cove, Spanish Grant, Sunset Cove, Pirates Cove, and others prohibit short-term rentals, maintain high property values, despite not allowing them, in contrast to concerns that such restrictions would harm property values here? You understand the question?
Thank you. I do understand the question. I'd be lying if I said I had the answers on how they're doing it. I do know that Isla del Sol did away with rentals for a little while. They got sued, and they're back in there. I don't know about the others. I really have no information on that. So that's an area I have not been privy to. Sharon probably have a better answer to that question. So, but that being said, it can be done, but I don't know if we're prepared to go through the legal ramifications of trying to do that. Get rid of all these people that already have them in here. There's people in this room that have them. I mean, there's people that come to city council meetings that have them. I know a lot of people have more than one house and rent them. That is not the problem in my, I don't know if I'm getting off the question here, but to me, that's not the problem. The problem is getting rid of bad players, not eliminating them completely, because I don't think that's feasible. I could be wrong. Whatever the citizens of Jamaica Beach decide is, I'm behind it. Thank you.
Do you support the Constitution of the United States and the Texas Constitution?
Yes.
Explain how you feel about property rights.
Property rights is a fundamental rights we have as owners. They have to be guaranteed. The Fifth Amendment goes a long way to guaranteeing that. And I too believe in the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Texas. A lot of guarantees are there, and I support them. I also support the SDR, the short-term rental ordinance. We have to control and guarantee our property rights. It's a difficult question, but it's such a difficult task. And I believe that our administration and our mayor are doing the right things to protect us and help us get there. Thank you.
halfway through.
So I'm not getting a short constitution.
This pertains to a council meeting and how I think it needs to be addressed here. Do you own an STR in Jamaica Beach?
No. Our income, my husband was a police officer. If you know anything about their salary, no. We can afford one home. Thank you.
Explain how you feel about property rights.
I am a strong advocate of property rights. As we were talking about potential caps or bans on rental income or rental property here in Jamaica Beach, we threw that around a lot and talked about it a lot as a potential way to better manage our sense of community. But when you go out and look at the challenges that are out there right now, as a city, we could be challenged on implementing that. And even though proposals were for grandfathering everybody and making sure that if you purchased here on the premise that you could rent, you'd be allowed to rent. The current state of our Texas government, we are a state where there's strong constitutional rights and strong property rights. I know we have a home in Colorado, and the rental regulations there are absurdly restrictive compared to what we have, because Colorado does not have the same inherent belief in property rights that Texans do. So I, like everybody else, think we need to manage and regulate what we have, and that's not against your property right. If you purchase here to have a short-term rental, I firmly believe that you agree to be a committed member of this community, and that you put systems and processes in place that ensure your guests and renters are not going to be a detriment to the community at home. And after talking to many, many STR owners, the majority of the owners are for that too. I mean, they feel that yes, they have the right to rent their home, but they also know that stricter regulation is going to help everyone. They don't want the bad actors in the neighborhood either. That diminishes their potential to rent to the type of people that they want to rent to, which is families and considerate people that come to our community because of the uniqueness of our community, because of our beach, because of our police force. Thank you.
Explain how you feel about property rights.
Oh, really, it was a surprise. I guess I didn't know that there was an option to support property rights or not. I think consistency is key, and that's a law above us, so enforcing and consistency across the board. But yeah, I would be mad without my property rights, so let's just keep those.
There was a platform in the 2024 election that focused on the short-term rentals. Given this outcome after the election, do you believe the current number of short-term rentals in our city without measures to limit their growth reflect the desires of the community. And most of the rest part-time, both full-time and part-time residents.
Not sure I quite understood that, but I think I can answer with it. There's too damn many short-term rentals in Jamaica Beach. I agree with that. I think there needs to be a cap on how many we should have. I think we're at the saturation point right now, and I think the market shows that. Short-term rentals aren't renting like they were. Corporate guys getting out, thank God. So yes, I definitely do believe that there needs to be some control, not just on the ordinances that we have in place, but the number of them. I mean, I think that we all have a right to know who our neighbor's gonna be from one weekend, twice a week sometimes, to the next. I think we at least to know that they're gonna be good players, not bad players. Thank you.
Do you know that you can be personally sued for your vote while you're on council?
You personally sued?
Sued.
Well, I wasn't aware of that, but I am now. Be very careful.
Are there any plans to clean out the ditches or on the streets? There's been backup on several days before there's evaporation of the moisture, and mosquitoes breed on those grounds.
Okay, the question is there any plan to clean out the ditches or the streets? Our streets stay backed up for several days before they evaporate mosquito breeding grounds. Yes, there are. In fact, we have a plan on the city website, and we now have a plan for spraying for mosquitoes and treating the ditches. That's a good step forward on mosquito control. And I'm adamant on that. I mean, I see hand-to-hand combat with mosquitoes at my house. But yeah, it's a good plan. And also we need to reinforce the plan to get some volunteers from the city as backups to drive a truck, because they have to be certified. And we need to continue to plan. It needs to be regular. And we need to provide some more people in case we have to have a fill-in to run that truck. As far as the drainage problems, our city administrator and the mayor is working with FEMA on a grant program to help with that. But that's a long way off. It's a long way off. And there's some places and small fixes that I think we can do. One of them I call the Falkenberg Pond. If we have a water, when we did the streets, we failed to put in a couple of water drainage catch basins. We need to go back and fix that. Things like that, simple things we can do. Even cleaning the ditches out or cleaning the culverts out to make the water go out faster. I'm for things like that. These are common sense things. Thank you.
What plans do you have to improve the water waste treatment plant?
I can honestly say I know it's been working, or they're working on it, the council is working on it, but I have not researched that efficiently enough. So I don't really have an answer for it, but I do plan on researching it, looking into it, and finding out.
you envisioned for the future of Jamaica Beach, and are you in favor of the paid parking process?
Well, as our sign says, you know, we're a great place to visit and a better place to live. And I think the strategy session we did last year and the vision, you know, it's about working together, living in peace and having fun. That's what Jamaica Beach has always represented. As far as the beach user fee, you know, we are pursuing it because that's what the citizens last year indicated they want. It's a process. We will reach a unanimous decision once all the information is in. Maybe not unanimous, but we will reach a decision on the beach user fee in the near future. There's still 2 outstanding questions on the beach user fee. This will be brought up at council on Thursday, but you know, basically we don't yet know about a location for porta potties, and also we still don't know if we're going to pick up trash or not. Granted, we have pickers every day that go and clean up, plus the wonderful volunteers in the city that help pick up trash on the beach as well. But we still have 2 outstanding points. We will finish that, put the full analysis together, council will vote on it, and then, you know, if it's moved ahead, we'll find the staffing for it. And if council votes to not move it forward, the good news is with our website and more transparency and information, that analysis, that information, that proposed plan will be out there. So if it pulls up in 5 years again, we will have all that information at our fingertips and know the issues that resulted in us not moving it forward if that's the choice.
I don't think this is relative to this meeting. Can you do the river dance? So, I'm going to go back to your multi-question. Do you know that do you support the Constitution of the United States, the Texas Constitution?
Sure do.
Sure. Is there any plans to clean out the ditches on the street? Same question about the water not evaporating and the mosquitoes breeding.
Thank you. I know that there is a plan for the mosquitoes, as Gil was talking about, and I also wrote Gil a little note. I volunteered a long time ago to back up and spray, and I'll do it for free because I hate those things. As far as the ditches go, we don't need a plan. We got Frank Sark. He goes up and down and cleans those ditches every week. We need a plan. We got Frank. But honestly, I see a lot of people that we do need a plan, and I think the ditches are looking a lot better, to be honest with you. And it just depends on what part of the ditches you're looking at. You know, everywhere it's a little different where it backs up, consistently backs up in the same places a lot. You go out there and have them regraded. I mean, it's not rocket science, but there's nothing we can do about high tides, folks. Nothing we can do about it. And Ike Dike, maybe. So that's just something we have to take as it goes. I think depending on who the lawn guy is too, you know, I think the lawn guy, when he's down there with the weed eater, he should be picking all that stuff up. But like I say, the mosquitoes, there's a plan in place, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
You have no comments. They have no more questions in their buckets, so I'm not ignoring them. But we're going to be at this end of the table for a bit. What are 3 top accomplishments you drove during your previous alderman term?
The 3 top accomplishments. First one, the water tower. brought that in, so that Jamaica Beach would always have water. Hurricane, something happens, if I remember correctly, excuse me, I'm old, we would have 2 to 3 days of water usage just from the tower. And I know from Ike, we couldn't use it due to the fact of the lines on Galveston's side. If turning the water on, we were blowing out their lines. So we had to, if I remember correctly, could be wrong, we couldn't do that. And also the other problems with what went on with the hurricane. So that's one. We've raised, because of flooding and drainage issues, we've raised the roads back on Jamaica Inn and Jamaica Cove, trying to stop the flooding. You do get inundated when we have high tides and coming in and a system. You know, there's nothing we can do at this point, unless we want to raise it, everything, houses, another 4 feet. We had Hurricane Ike. That right there was awful. 95% of the island was underwater, but what we did as a community and council and working to get our city back up and running was amazing. Our volunteers our firefighters and our police that slept on cots in this building for weeks on end, and ignoring their homes, going out and helping others and saving others, and bringing them in to where, getting them out of the high water and bringing them into safety. All the products that were brought from a semi from New York that was donated and brought to us, thanking us because we had citizens.
Why should we vote to bring you back as our mayor, and would change do our city better?
Well, I think we've come a long way, and I'd like to be your mayor again to keep working on what we've started. And I could go through the entire list of all the accomplishments that have been achieved through a hardworking staff, and Kendall's made a huge difference too in his work ethic and his dedication to this city. So I would like to continue. I think we're on the right path. I think we are where we need to be. Our infrastructure needs to continue to improve. We've got lots of things still to do, but from where we were to where we are, I'd like to keep that trajectory going, and I'd like to keep that momentum and that continuity going. I fear with the change, we'll step back a little bit. The learning curve will have to be gone through again. So that's why I'd like to be your mayor again, to keep working on all the things we've got in progress.
Did you answer about the division in the community? What are the top 3 things you believe are not being addressed by the current administration?
That one, I believe the division in the city. I believe our employment, the employees. There's a strife, there's a division, and I think that, you know, that the employees' employment, you know, needs to be taken care of. And our longest employee has been here 3 years. The next one is 2 years. There's a problem, and there's a division, and it needs to be addressed. I feel I do like our infrastructure is working, but I'm concerned on part of it where the STR is going. I'm very concerned, we're heading for a lawsuit that is going to be very costly to the city. It's there, it's real. You know, we've got to come up with a way that will help our neighbors get back together and get the STRs under control. But we've got to do it in a way where we're not breaking the law.
Time.
This is long, so you might want to reread it before your time starts and let the timekeeper know. 22% of homes at Jamaica Beach are registered STRs. In addition to that, there are some STRs which are currently unregistered. There are no measures in place to either lower or prevent that number from increasing. Do you feel most full or part-time residents are pleased with having no limits on the number of STRs and that it's in the best interest? And is that in the best interest of our community?
As far as the unregistered ones, with our new registration process, we have, we're up to date on who's registered and who's not registered. Violations, notices of violations, citations will be going out in the next few days for those STRs that are still operating and not being registered. So that is in the works. As far as limiting the number of STRs, you know, here again, once the legislature gives a little more guidance on how the courts are going to rule on caps, I think a cap doesn't need to be discussed until we get more of an idea and the risk of the lawsuit. I mean, we don't need a lawsuit in the city. So we'd rather let somebody else be case one or case two and see what direction that goes. In the meantime, the plan is to provide better oversight and make the STRs the benefit to the community they should be. I mean, some folks coming in and out provides energy, provides, you know, a vitality to the city. But the folks that are here to party and disrupt and trash our neighborhood, we're working on means to provide better oversight for that.
Do you support the Constitution of the United States of America
Yes,
and the Texas Constitution?
absolutely.
Do you know that you can personally be sued for your vote in the council?
Bring it on.
Is there something you can bring to the city that is, as mayor, that will distinguish you from the current mayor?
I think with the unity of the council and working with them, and the unity of our City Hall and working with the citizens and getting their input on a lot of harder issues. I feel that I could work, I want to work with y'all, I want to work for you. And we've got the city council, I'm 1 of 5, it's working with them. It's getting out there and getting our issues solved, continuing working with the, on the infrastructure, continuing working on the beach problem. I honestly think on the beach, we have been over this when I was on council several times. It was always brought up. And it always turned out it did not solve the problem that the citizens were looking for.
Can I interrupt you? The question is, what can you bring to the city?
What can I bring to the city? Sorry. My knowledge of the city, my 10 years of being on city council, working with y'all. My accounting background, I do not have a degree, but that's all I ever did and worked in. I think of my neighbors and working with them, with y'all, is a big one. So that's what I'm gonna bring. I'm gonna bring my heart to you to work with y'all, to get this stuff done and to continue doing what's going on.
Thank you. You're done. Since elected, the present mayor has spent 30 to 50 hours a week working at City Hall solving problems. If elected, are you willing to do the same?
I'm retired. I have no other obligations of a job. So I can be here at just about any time. I do volunteer with a few organizations, but those are ones that I can can adjust and move my schedule with. So yes, I have no problems with doing that and basically working a job for y'all, working my 40 hours, 60 hours, whatever it takes to get the job done.
Last question, and this time will be,
Still not constitutional.
I don't think you have addressed this one, but you can tell me if you have. Do you believe the city should issue restrictions for short-term rentals? Have you answered that one yet? No. That are illegally homesteading their properties, as this practice avoids county property taxes and shifts the tax burden onto law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. So if elected, would you take action to revoke the registrations of these said properties?
I would definitely address it. I would have to check is can you revoke a person's right to their property? I don't know that. But I do think that if the ordinance is there, then it should be the same across the board. Every single person should follow the ordinance. Whether it's STRs, it's building, it's the beach, it should all be across the board and the same. There should be, unless it came to council and council decided as a group, okay, that's fine, then, you change it. But on STRs, I believe they're not going anywhere. But there need to be some restrictions, and it needs to work with, working with the owner and working with the neighbors so that it doesn't become such an issue and it doesn't become a problem for our police officers, for our citizens.
Time for this session. Thank you. It's been a great session. You all have been really appropriate and listening, and we care about that. There is 30 minutes now. Mayor Sharon, what were you thinking for last remarks? Is it from you individuals?
No, it was just if anybody, it was just really to thank everybody for
Oh,
coming out.
okay. I'll let you do that.
And to thank all of the candidates.
We do thank the candidates for taking their time out. It can't be easy. I wouldn't want to do it, to stand up here and let you know what their heart is and how they are understanding the issues and how they intend to perform in their duties. And I thank them for putting themselves out there, and I thank all of you for coming. We especially thank the police, the fire department for their help in making this happen for you all tonight. Thank you. And God bless you all. This is time to meet and greet. So we have half an hour in the building.
Yes, we're gonna kind of just spread out around the room.
They're going to go around the room for you to meet them if you so desire.
We're just gonna take them.
Yeah. So find a corner of your perspective. These questions for y'all are to take home.